Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Heart of the Swarm Exhibitions. Today is Monday, which means King of the Hill. My name is axeltoss. I am joined by axslav, and we just saw Goswser take out TT1. It was a close game. It was a very close game. I'm not going to say it was by the skin of his teeth, but he definitely had a bit of trouble doing so.
He did. I mean, TT1's first push out, I think, put TT1 significantly ahead. But then Goswser's counterattack really put him back in the game in a big way. And then it was back and forth there for the next 10 minutes. Then Festers, man, they're still good.
They're still good.
They're still good. They may not always win every game, but they're still darn good.
I mean, didn't they nerf them? Like, they took the upgrades. The upgrades no longer affect...
Infested Terrans.
Right.
The eggs have less life.
Does that apply to the Heart of the Swarm?
It does. They actually first applied the Heart of the Swarm.
Oh.
They introduced it...
That was from the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. And then they later brought them into Liberty. So
cool.
The eggs have less life. Infested Terrans don't get upgrades, and it's a projectile, so you can kind of dodge with certain units, or at least partially dodge it, right?
Yeah, and
get some units out of the way.
Heart of the Swarm constantly being changed, so for those yelling at me for not knowing the exact changes that occurred, I apologize, but that is my excuse. Actually, shout out to Blizzard, by the way. We were like in the middle of a show match, and the server was scheduled to go down, but Blizzard's like, you know what? We're gonna not let the server go down until this show match is finished. They let us finish a show match, and then the server went down afterwards, so they could apply the patch changes. So shout out to Blizzard in that regard. But here we are in game number 2 of the day. Again, MLG, Heart of the Swarm, King of the Hill. If you want to get involved, channel MLG. I'm getting a lot of pro players interested today, so you may or may not get to play unless you're really, really good, or you're you
really
have
good
a lot
fellow.
of results, right? If you're a really good pro player or something. But here we are. In game 2, at the bottom right, we have Dragon, the blue Terran player. And in the top left, we have the red Zerg player, Goswser using ZVT on Antigua Shipyard. Of course, Dragon shows the map. The Challenger always chooses the map. And I'm excited for this one.
This is a pretty standard map pick for Terrans against both Zerg and Protoss. Terrans are usually wanting to put in a situation where their opponent has a hard time taking the 4th base. Not to mention the fact that planetaries in the middle bases are so strong for Terran here.
Yeah. What was that game? Oh, it was actually Seed versus Supernova, where we saw Seed, or Dragon, I should say, or sorry, Supernova utilizing the medevacs in between the 1st and the 3rd. And Seed was just like so spread out he couldn't handle it, because the medevacs, of course, with their new Ignite Afterburners, I remembered it.
You know, that's a pretty cool replay. And if you want to see it again, analyzed, hang on tonight, because it's being featured in Rules of Engagement.
Called it.
Starting at 7 Eastern to 8. One of the 3 replays is going to be that game.
Directly after this King of the Hill.
That's right. And it's going to be all Heart of the Swarm from now on. So a lot of this stuff will come from these great show matches where we get these great players coming on like Dragon, Goswser, Crank, TT1, Cass, etc. And then maybe if they have some great games, I can break them down a little bit in Rules of Engagement as well.
Now, let's say I miss it live. How would I be able to watch it?
You know, there's this website on the interweb.
Really?
Where you can watch a lot of different stuff called YouTube.
No.
But there's so much stuff there, you gotta know where to find the great StarCraft stuff.
Where do I go?
So you go to YouTube/official MLG SC2. Get all the great StarCraft stuff over there. It's pretty nice website, if I say so myself.
Thanks, axslav. You're so
informative.
Full of information.
There you go. I like how we said the same thing in different words.
All right, Goswser going for a little bit faster speed here. Can you do burrow before?
You can. He can start burrow as soon as he has 100 gas.
Let's see what he has in store for us today. Do you think he's going to do burrow or speed?
I don't know. I would imagine speed. Like, what's he going to do with burrow?
We're going to find out. Maybe? Use your 100 gas. He's not using it. He's letting it go.
You know, one of the cool purposes of burrow at Hatch Tech, a lot of people are saying, well, you can't get... Oh, he is getting burrow. Oh, look at that. So people are saying you can't get Roach speed. Roach burrow's not too rigged because you can't get the movement until you're lair tech, right? And then, like, Baning Bombs, well, you'd probably be lair by the time we're really using those anyway. Maybe some early ones. There's some stuff there, but I think the strongest usage of fast burrow is defensively.
Oh.
So you can even start your lair, then you start burrow after the lair, but it'll finish much earlier than it would have before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can use it against things like Hellion Rumbais. against Banshee harass. And also, what is strongest against is Oracle harass, because the Oracles activate those pulsar beams.
Yes.
And you burrow, and then they're losing energy, but there's nothing for them to attack. I mean, they could try to kill your hatchery or something, but they're never going to get that.
Yeah. I mean, like, the only defense is your drones just aren't mining while burrowed. Now, if drones could mine while burrowed, that would be...
They should get that upgrade. A hive tech drone should have a burrow movement, so they can be like roaches, just mining.
Dude, I come up with the best ideas.
It's got to be an expensive hive tech upgrade, but that'd be pretty funny.
I think layer would be okay, but
Layer,
like on the infestation pit or something.
But they move a little slower, so you lose a little bit of money.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
So, double factory by Dragon. And Goswser's coming out with these roaches. They do have burrow done.
Yes.
So one thing you can tell is he may not have streamlined. I mean, he could have gone burrow research a little bit later, saved himself some money earlier. But either way, the roaches are across the map, and he can use the burrow to regenerate if he micros it really well.
Yeah, and we'll actually see him do that, of course. That first roach burrow down. There it goes. And there we go. There's the burrow micro there from Goswser, and a Marine force that before burrow could probably kill this.
Or at least damage it.
At least damage it much more than that. That's not going to work. So Dragon is going to have to back up here with these Marines. Just now starting a bunker at his natural expansion, churning out a couple
I love Dragon's
Widow
reaction
mines.
though.
Yeah.
The Widow mines are a great counter to this. I mean, you can make Hellions, but they can just burrow to heal that. But the Widow mine does enough burst damage, you can start actually killing roaches. Not to mention the fact that the Widow mines won't die. You just burrow them, and then they're going to stay alive. So, a really, really great reaction. I don't know if Dragon was planning that the whole time. I feel maybe he might have been thinking Hellions originally. Oh, let's home.
Nice. And wow, that was huge. That actually hit the burrowed roaches.
It did, because the splash damage. And as long as the projectile's in air, it'll still hit once the roach burrows. So,
so Goswser caught a little bit off guard by those Widow mines. He was handling that so well up until then, but still, like, not bad at all. 5 units lost to 16, 325 to 800.
So those Marines.
In favor of Goswser. Yeah, Dragon is losing a lot of Marines here.
A couple SCVs, too, I think, on the bunker repair. Mostly just Marines, though, but not bad. Not bad.
Now we have Dragon adding on some Hellions here, moving his Widow mines a little bit closer to his opponent. Gonna be dropping some Hellions. Ooh, Battle Hellions even. Ooh. Or Hellbats, excuse me.
And you know what? Look at the damage Hellbats do to drones. 30 damage to light. I mean, 2 shots doesn't just kill a drone. It absolutely roasts that drone. So they're, and you know what? They attack faster than Hellions do as well. They have faster attack rate. Weapon speed 2 instead of Hellions are like 2.6 or something like that.
Now drones can burrow.
2.5.
So I'm wondering if a scan would even be worth it, because
it would depend on how many you could kill. I think that'd be interesting. So you know, you guys at home who love math, go ahead and try to figure out how many drones you have to be sure you're going to kill to make a scan worth it. It's a fun little project.
But I could do that in my head right now.
It depends on how many are mining, because the saturation rate greatly matters, and the assumption of how fast they can repopulate those drones as well.
How many orbitals you have is important.
Yeah, there's actually, it's super simple mathematical arithmetic, because there's opportunity cost involved there as well.
Yeah. Just a lot of steps.
But the medevac's trying to find some drones. It finds a queen.
Oh, the burrow. Gonna spray some fire onto the hatchery.
And not gonna. Oh no, Hellion. Oh, repair. Pick him up.
Wow, Dragon actually losing track a little bit here. Lost a Battle Hellion, and now Goswser knows exactly what's going on. Now, of course, by moving the medevacs over here, you could, again, we talked about, you can force the drones to burrow, which will prevent them from mining. So that, that does a little bit for you. But let's see how much damage these can do here. The Battle Hellion's going to be dropped. Are going to be dropped into the middle line here. And
we can pick him up. He can just keep dropping and picking up.
Oh,
look how many drones he killed. Holy moly.
Gosh.
And you know what? I mean, if he was a little more attentive into picking up, he probably could have saved all 3 of them.
Yeah, picking up the weakened.
And look at, I think he got like 8. How many did he get? He had 0 kills before that.
It's his 10.
And he had 0 before that. So that is just.
Lost 3 Hellbats though.
Yes. So I mean, overall, I would say that was maybe breaking even, or maybe
not
slightly
game changing.
Yeah, no, it was roughly even, but. That shows you the potential of a drop. I mean, and Goswser had 5 roaches.
Yep, right there.
Sitting there, like he literally dropped on top of, was it 1 or 2 queens and 5 roaches? It's. I mean, you can't really get into a worse position than that as far as your opponent being ready for your drop. I mean, besides if they have like a whole bunch of queens. I'm
about to ask a noob question.
Yes.
The splash damage does extend to the burrowed units. Obviously, I mean, we saw that. So like, you could theoretically hit your own. If the drone's burrowed, you could just hit your own battle helmet.
You would. I mean, they do so much damage to each other though, but it'd still be worth it. It'd still be worth it. I mean, it's same thing.
Well,
like,
let's say you burrow the drones and keep the roaches there. That doesn't necessarily save your drones.
It doesn't, because they'll shoot the roaches if the drones are burrowed near the roaches.
Yep. Just thinking out loud.
So the other thing to consider there is, I mean, we've seen people actually use that trick with normal Hellions to kill creep tumors. They'll put like they'll either attack a rock where the rock puts the attack path to make it go through the tumor. On Cloud Kingdom, I've seen that a lot. And then also, of course, if you know the tumor's almost dead, you just put one of your own Hellions on top of it and attack it. So there's a lot of ways to really get around burrow, but it encourages a lot of cool micro tricks, which is always fun.
You can always transfuse your creep tumor if that happens.
Ghosties are moving out with a big attack.
Lots
the
of
Hellions are ditching.
Yeah, they're going over to the left-hand side. And look at this, Goswser has a burrowed Ling here. So he's able to see that this is happening. And he's going to be attacking the rocks leading to this third base. What do you make of this choice to go for these Hydras?
It's interesting. Maybe he was anticipating some Banshees being added in. Maybe they're effective against Aaron.
Yeah.
I mean, why not add a few, I guess? They'll help kill the medevacs.
He has so much stuff. Dragon is going to have his hands full here. It's 2 siege tanks in his natural expansion, bringing these Hellions back.
Flank.
Yeah, the Hellions
transform him.
Going to try to kill these Hydras, but the DPS is way too much. There goes the flamethrowers from those Hellbats onto those Hydras. Going to pick those up and retreat them behind the bunker, but Goswser has so much at this point, and this isn't even considering the reinforcements he has in that production tab. He's up 175 to 96 at this point in time. And Dragon, again, is having his hands full. Keep in mind, this third has been delayed so long because Goswser burrowed a Ling and he dropped creep on top. So right when Dragon secured that third, Goswser came in with this Roach Hydra push, and now Dragon is scrambling to come up with an answer once again to this push.
SCV's trying to surround the Roaches, but with that 2 armor upgrade, they do almost nothing. The tanks unsieging, trying to move up here. Ghosty has got either back up or running to snipe the tanks. Decides backing up is smarter, knowing that he's mostly Hydra-less. You can't run into those battle Hellions because they will just eviscerate the Hydra-less. But now more Roaches come to play. The tanks are exposed.
Yeah, they're going to try to siege up, but getting evaporated very quickly. SCV is going to be turning around to try to deal with this. And here come the battle Hellions, actually doing a significant amount of damage to these Roaches and these Hellions, but it's not going to be enough. Ghosties are up 160 to 54 in supply. Dragon has a siege tank on the high ground, but it's going to get targeted down, killed, and now Goswser is just going to run right into the base. And there's the GG. Goswser is your victor. Once again, he's on a 2-game winning streak. He's looking pretty strong.
He's looking very strong.
Taking out TT1 and Dragon.
And you know, it has to start with that Burrow Roach attack that it's traded well, but it also cost him a good amount to initiate that. You know, it's hard to tell where he got ahead there. I feel like maybe just his overall macro was so strong. Because that last attack, I mean, Dragon had 2 siege tanks. And Goswser had like 150 food or 160 food. And he only had 2 Widow Mines. If he had a giant field of Widow Mines, he would have held it. If he had more than 2 siege tanks at the start of that, he would have held it. So, just not quite enough stuff on Dragon's end.
I mean, with that Burrowed Roach push, I feel like it gave Goswser so much safety, so much freedom to drone. So right when you make those 6 Roaches and push them across the map, they have Burrow. So what can actually kill six burrowed Roaches at that point in the game? Not much, I don't think. Unless your opponent is doing some sort of all-in, you know, investing a lot into making units. But Dragon had macro on his mind. He was investing a lot into his economy, pretty much only making Marines. So Marines against those Roaches, you can be very cost efficient, and you can kind of prevent the opponent from pushing across the map. Again, leading you to be able to make drones pretty much very safely. But the follow-up was very interesting as well from Dragon, making those Battle Hellions, putting them in medevacs, and while that pushed it a little bit of damage, I think Goswser was okay with it. Again, he was droning a lot, and he could afford to lose a few drones, and Dragon did lose a lot of Hellions when he went for those attacks. So overall, great game there from Goswser, again, knowing when to hit that drone button.
It was. I mean, we can see here, during that last push when he instigated the attack, he was about, what, 60% stronger army than his opponent. So that type of gap, even if he got siege tanks in a strong position, I mean, this difference here is just too much. Something went wrong with the macro for Dragon earlier.
Well, another part of that is just how long Goswser was able to delay Dragon taking his third base.
It's true.
Burrowing the Ling and dropping creep.
How annoying can you be? Goswser's got all the secrets for you Zerg players trying to slow down Tyrant's macro, and that's an important skill set.
Absolutely, and Goswser is currently on a 2-game winning streak in this King of the Hill on Monday. Again, we started at 5 p.m. Eastern. We have something going on at 5 p.m. Eastern every single day here relating to Heart of the Swarm. Stay tuned, guys. Coming up next, it's going to be Goswser trying to extend his winning streak to 3. We'll have to see if he can make it happen. Don't go away.